welcome once again. It's me, Matt Fraser from ROCKFLESH.com, and we're back at Rebellion. We're in the beer garden, the smoking garden this time, and with Robin from Resolve, who are playing tonight, co-headliner with Siamese.
Hi everyone.
Thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure.
So is this towards the end of the EU-UK tour?
Yeah, actually, I think there's only 4 shows left, including this one.
Right.
So, but weirdly enough, like this tour's been going. I mean, I feel fine. I feel like energized and stuff. So
you could do it all again.
Yeah, I mean, spring, man. Like it's so much easier to tour during the spring than during the winter. It's crazy, especially because we, like all the other bands on the bill are in the tour bus, and we have our own van now. So
right. So what the other? So Siamese and the other bands are in one tour bus, and then you've got your own.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, your
Which
own.
Is, I mean, I love a tour bus, but also like it's nice to have like your little van and stay with the crew. And exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and apparently, like the Danish are partying pretty hard, and we like a party, but not that much. So I guess it's kind of for the best.
Exactly. Sometimes it's better to be able to just step back. Yeah. Especially, I know we've spoken with a few bands, and they've said that it's quite difficult to get any time to yourself on a lot of these tours, back-to-back dates. Do you get much of a chance to see the cities you go to, or? I
mean, not that much. Like we were talking earlier, this is our 3rd time in Manchester at Rebellion, like in the span of a year, and honestly, like this is the only area I've ever been.
Manchester.
Yeah, to me it is. Like I guess it's a great city, but I wouldn't really know. But it's nice. At least it's sunny today, which is
it's bizarre. Cool. It's sunny in Manchester. Yeah, hold the back pages for that.
Yeah.
So where has been the best on the tour, the best venue on the tour, maybe then, if you've not been able to get out and about in the cities?
I mean, apologize to UK citizens, but
it's all right.
Like Germany is always like the best reception for us. Like Stuttgart was crazy, Wiesbaden was crazy. I mean, a lot of them. London was actually amazing.
Was it Camden Underworld?
Yeah, which is such a great venue,
exactly.
Like legendary.
Is that like off the list kind of thing, off the bucket list?
Yeah. We actually we played Underworld last year with Ocean's 8 Alaska supporting, but this time, like since we're co-headlining, we had the name on the
name up on the front.
On the front, so that was like a big moment, obviously, because especially for us French, like the French scene is a lot smaller than it is here. And we've always I've grown up seeing like tour posters and my favorite bands playing this venue and having their names on the front. So like when we arrived and checked out the front, like bucket list moment, really. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It's interesting you say about the kind of the size of the French scene, because I mean, anyone who knows all of my reviews, I absolutely love kind of the metal scene from France, the hardcore scene from France. Quality rather than quantity, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And as we say, like kind of, Landmarks, you're obviously good friends with, Novelist, 1056, Betraying the Martyrs. Yeah, the list kind of goes on and on and on.
At this point, we're all friends, which is really nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, is there kind of friendly competitiveness, or is it just really, really supportive?
Oh no, it's like obviously there's always like a bit of competition. But it's also like each band is like how would you say it? Each band is taking
pushing each other further.
Yeah, exactly, and especially Landmarks, which have done so well in the last few years, and I think they are the ones who are like putting France back on the radar. Yep. So obviously, thanks to Landmarks.
Yeah, well, I think Landmarks are a good example where we often see with a lot of the bands I like as well that they're kind of a good mix of genres. They're very, very difficult to pigeonhole. I think it's the same with you guys.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Sometimes I listen to a track, I'll be like, oh, this is kind of melodic hardcore. Then the next one, it's like, oh, this is much more like metalcore or kind of thing. How would you describe your music to someone who'd never heard your band before?
You know what? Like
difficult question.
Yes, but actually, for once, I actually have an answer because we were talking about that with our management lately, and someone came up with the name Arena Metal, which I mean, obviously, they're still a long way ahead before we are playing arena. But
you got to shoot high.
Yeah, exactly, and like this very like open and big sound which we're trying to achieve. So yeah, like I guess, like you were saying, we are very poppy at times, very like easy listening. Like we always get like, when we were playing the Underworld, like one of the person working security at the end of the show, they came up to us and they were like, I don't know anything about metal, but I fucking loved you guys, and that's always a really nice thing. Yeah. But sometimes it can also be tough because sometimes we feel like maybe we are not metal enough for the metal crowds, or just like you know what I'm saying? Like
exactly,
you need to find like the right balance. Yeah.
And I suppose that's part of the balance that you have to look for in a tour as well, with who you're touring with.
Yeah.
How did it come about, the whole thing with Siamese?
So basically, it's a good story. We were playing a festival last summer in Germany, and Siamese was on the bill as well. And we actually had met them like a few months before that at some show. Just got along really well. And at the end of that festival, Mirza, the singer and tour manager for Siamese, came up to me and was like, "We are working on this tour for next year. We think it would be a really good match to have you guys with us." And we were like, "Yeah, absolutely." And you know, it always happens. Oh yeah, we should tour together.
Do this, and then
absolutely. But this time it actually happened, and
it's the Paramerza, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, and they brought together like a pretty good lineup, which makes a lot of sense because it's weird for us. We are actually the harder band on the lineup.
Yeah, very true.
And it's a nice position to be in, I think. So
yeah, definitely. No, it's a really good, expansive bill with plenty of genres within each band, as it were. And yeah, obviously we're ROCKFLESH Towers. We're big fans of Siamese. Great lads, always put on a great show. They're another band like Landmarks that have really just shot up in popularity. Really,
I mean, they've been going at it for a long time now, but lately they've been doing really well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really good to see a lot of these, because obviously there's always the conversation of is metal dead, is rock dead kind of thing that you get, and it's not. I think you know, it's just evolving. I think we're seeing some real bands coming through now.
Really well, and especially like I feel like modern metal / metalcore, or you want to call it. It's starting to be like kind of just the new norm of metal, which is cool. I mean, it's just like cycle repeating itself in a way.
So how do you feel your sound has adapted over the years that you've been going briefly? Because I think you can hear it. I think possibly when you get to Pendulum as a single, that's when I kind of noticed a kind of jump almost. I
feel like that's when we kind of found our own sound, like with this EP. Like before that, we had one EP and a couple of tracks, and we were just like, you know, throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. But once we released that and saw that people were actually connecting with it, it kind of like pushed us in that direction. And now, like for the stuff that we've written that's not yet released, the live shows, because we've toured a lot in 2022 when things opened back up. And it definitely had a big influence in our writing as well, because before that we wrote the album before that, Between Me and the Machine, without really playing a lot of shows.
Right. Yeah.
So it was very much like a studio experience. And when we started writing new stuff, we were like, okay, so like we had a lot more experience in seeing what works, what doesn't works, and stuff. So yeah, it's really been influenced by that, I want to say.
Oh, that's interesting. I know we've spoken with different bands who have very different ways of writing and taking influences. Some of them say they like to keep it very separate, that kind of touring, writing, feel that they keep the songs there for that. Yeah. Others take the influence from it. It's obviously something that, you know, you take the influence of that live experience.
Yeah, definitely you could say that,
Yeah, excellent. Themes of songs and themes moving forward. Yeah. The last two singles, it's interesting, isn't it? Because it was Move to Trash, about almost the perfectionism of trying to write songs. And then we've got Death Awaits, which is kind of, I guess, about the inevitability of kind of what's coming to us all. I wondered if one of the themes I thought might be running through those two is kind of almost that element of control. Control of your own kind of destiny, or control yourself. So going back to the kind of self-sufficiency and the DIY ethos, is that something that's very, very central to kind of almost all of the approach to your music and the band?
I want to say yes. Like at first it was by default, kind of, because like when you're starting out, you don't really have a budget for like music videos and recording and stuff. So we had to do it ourselves. But we ended up like getting pretty good at it. Yeah. So no, it's like about pushing the envelope of what we can do on our own.
Once you've got the skills, you might as well use them.
Because like we are very like we like to have a lot of control on everything that we do. So with that comes obviously a lot of DIY stuff.
Yeah. So you're with the Rising Empire, aren't you? So they obviously give you a lot of freedom with regards to how you go about stuff.
Yeah. Like we just give them the album when it's done, and they're like, okay, that's great.
Which is perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but I don't think there's a lot of obviously like maybe bigger bands have. Maybe bigger bands like label have a say in stuff, but honestly, in 99% of our scene, I feel like it's just like mostly distribution and marketing and stuff, and like music stays.
And I guess that's what's worked both for the bands and the distributors, the labels, etc. So
Yeah.
Definitely. Right, let's do some of the fun questions. Fun questions.
Oh, fun questions. Okay.
So, if you could do a collaboration with any artist, band or individual, who would it be? I know you have quite an eclectic taste.
Yeah, so. I will answer this on a more personal level. I think for me, maybe Bon Iver. You know Bon Iver, I think he's Canadian.
I think so. Yeah.
Which has like these crazy soundscapes and stuff, which sometimes is an influence to us. So yeah, this could be it. I mean, we've done a few collabs, like especially the Landmarks one, which is very good, Self and Black Hole.
Yeah.
There's a couple more which are not with Landmarks, but with other artists which are not released yet. So I can't say too much about it, especially because you like until it's out, you never really know what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
So I don't want to jinx it. But there's a couple of things that are like very outside of metal, which are in the pipeline.
Oh, cool!
It's very exciting. So hopefully this.
I won't throw ideas in, because there's obviously the thing at the moment, isn't there, with Ed Sheeran and Danny Filth?
Yeah, I saw about that.
And I think on your kind of your list on Spotify, your kind of track playlist on Spotify, that you've got like Billie Eilish and stuff like that.
Oh,
I think, is it? So I mean, anything goes really. Good music's good music.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like nowadays, like you were saying, like metal is maybe more mainstream than ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anything would be possible at this point, to be honest.
Excellent. Cool. If there was one person, fictional or real, alive or dead, who you could have join the band, who would it be and why? You don't have to kick anyone out for them.
I don't know. It's. I think it's a very like obvious answer, but like say Jordan Fish from Bring Me, which seemed to be like a crazy musician.
Yeah.
And like from what it seems, like everything he touches turns to gold. So I guess that would be very helpful to have him with us. Yeah,
they kind of Midas touch, the musical Midas touch.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy.
Biopic of the band. Who would play you in the biopic of a band? We get some good answers with this sometimes.
Man, that's a tough question actually. Who would it be? Oh no, I know. You know Hooper from Stranger Things?
Yeah.
What's the name? David. I forgot the actor's name. But I sometimes get it that I kind of look like him, so that would be a good one. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think that's pretty good.
That's a good one, definitely. If Resolve were a drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, what drink would they be and why?
I mean, I'm gonna go easy on this one. Brown rum, is on the rider, and we all love it.
Nice
so
one.
Yeah, rum and coke, I guess. not too fancy, but
is that the main part of the rider that you've got?
I mean,
towels and rum.
That's the fanciest thing. At least, yeah.
You don't ask for just like the blue M&Ms or anything like that.
No, but I know about the story. But no, we are not at that point yet. I wish.
Exactly. Okay, Resolve Fest.
Oh.
The festival you've put on.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to play, not necessarily headliners, you don't have to, or you can if you want. Who else is playing, or what special tents and activities have you got going on?
So, obviously, I guess all our French mates will be playing. So, Landmarks, 1056, Glassbone, Ashen. Sorry if I'm forgetting anyone, but obviously, I love everyone. Maybe like more out there answers. Oh, I know. I think we would have the Hans Zimmer band, maybe, which could be headlining.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, which is.
Yeah, I'm going to see Hans Zimmer in Manchester, so yeah, I'm very, very excited by
You've
that.
seen him, or are you?
I'm going to see him. Yeah.
Looks like a crazy show, man.
And as you said, like that would be a great collaboration.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer, like those soundscapes, all that kind of thing.
Oh, it's so good. So yeah, Hans Zimmer, maybe. Personally, I really love the. I think he's British. Bonobo, you know, the electronic artist, like kind of drum and bass, which I really love. So I would love to have him as well. And let's say maybe like some French rap as well. I'm going for like the name PNL. I guess you're not too familiar with
I'm not too familiar.
Yeah, like they are one of the biggest like French artists at the moment, and I fucking love it. Yeah. So yeah, like I'm all for a lot of different genres. So yeah. I
mean, if people who've seen the Ithaca interview, the drummer there wanted Arsene Wenger Q&A, as in Arsene Wenger, the football manager.
Oh,
so a football manager at Q&A. So, is there anyone that you'd love to ask questions to that you never normally get the chance?
I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
Or maybe you get to speak to everyone you want to speak to.
I mean, I'm kind of blanking, to be honest. Maybe.
You could just say us, ROCKFLESH.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely like big on the beat as well. You could do like something like, I don't know, like.
We could just interview random people. All day long.
Just like
So if you weren't doing Resolve, what would you be doing? Do you think as a job?
Well, my full-time job is I'm a music producer.
Right.
So,
cool.
but that's let's keep it like outside of music. I think I would be a chef. Because I love to cook, and allow me to say I'm pretty good at it. So yeah, that could be fun.
Or maybe Johann behind the camera used to be a chef. Maybe we need a chef.
I mean, that's the French touch for you.
Well, exactly. You know, there's no point not being stereotyped. So.
Yeah, I mean, stereotypes exist for a reason.
Cool, excellent. Well, what I guess at this point, what can you tell us you've got coming next? If there's some stuff you can't tell us, what have you got planned for the rest of the year?
So right after this tour, we are supporting Wesh Slips in France, which is gonna be really big for us. We've been fans for the longest time, literally like over 10 years. And they really have been a big influence, not really musically, but in their DIY ethos and stuff.
Yeah, Sleep Society stuff.
And the fact that we are lucky enough to have our own warehouse as well. So that's kind of a similarity between us. So this is very exciting. We have Hellfest coming up, which for us French is really like bucket list as good as it gets, really. Then I think nothing's really announced yet, but obviously we've got new stuff coming soon this year for sure. So there will be like touring and stuff focused more on the upcoming album. Yeah. I mean, I can't say that. It's not like it's obvious, you know.
It's obvious.
Even though it's not announced yet.
Us the singles.
But it actually won't be too long before people hear about it. So yeah, that's going to be exciting as well. Yeah.
Excellent, nice. And with regards to the album going out, can we expect a lot of diversity in the sound? Are the kind of the two singles that we've seen recently, or more recently, a shape of things to come?
Actually, I think the two singles we've released so far are really like. They don't really portray the upcoming album that much. I mean, I know that some people are like waiting to hear more proggy stuff like we've done on the first one, and there's a lot of that. It's just that for these two singles, we thought it would be cool to maybe like test the waters and see like how people are reacting to maybe more straightforward stuff.
They hit heavy, don't they? They hit brutal.
The like Move to Thrash was definitely the heaviest track we've released so far. But there's a lot of like more melodic stuff and more like atmospheric stuff coming up. So
awesome.
I think people who like the first album will really love the second one as well.
Excellent, nice one. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for spending time with us. We'll obviously be doing photos, review of the gig tonight, everything. So check out rockflesh.com for all of our material and content. Thanks very much.
Peace.